He's not being dumb, and he's like not doing good either. So he is dumb. Unfortunately, he's dumb for life. So, and actually, our next guest is on the line, and she's waiting patiently. Let's get her on here. And now this person, she will not be dumb, and hopefully she will not be known as Neil Patrick or Harris for the rest of her career. Let's welcome to the show. and let's see if I get the last.
How are you?
Hi, I know this is Kimberly. So is the last name? How do you say the last name? Aboltin?
It's a Bolton. Like I always tell people, like I'll be a Bolton out of here when I'm done with this conversation.
There you go. So how you doing, Kimberly? Welcome to the show.
Good. Yeah, that's about the easiest way to remember. A Bolton.
A Bolton.
I'm good, thanks. How are you? I gotta catch a couple minutes of you guys chatting.
So what do you think? So, Dom is Dom, right? I mean, in every movie, he's just Dom.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I'm with you.
He can't help it.
Exactly.
So, it's funny because like as I was going through and I come across your shorts and all you did and all these things, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching them and all, and then I like really start like investigating it all, and I'm like, wow, this is like this turned from like a funny interview to like, holy shit, how did we get here interview? Because like you were actually like on your way to become a doctor, and you quit. Am I getting this right? To go to Hollywood.
Yeah. I like kind of had the opposite. I did. I went to school. I studied. I did a lot of. I was a dancer growing up and did a lot of theater, and then had the opportunity when I went to school. I was like, I'm done doing theater and the arts. I like want to do something different, and I don't understand. I guess I was like a dorky kid. I was like, I'm gonna become a doctor, because with me it's like all or nothing. I can't just like do in between. I have to be like, either like an astronaut or a doctor, or it's like I can't just like. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be, and then I just was like, what am I doing? Like I got in so deep, and I'm like, I gotta bail. I gotta like stop and really do what I want to be doing, which is be an actor and a writer. Yeah. So I left. And I bailed out, pieced out, got a lot of science classes, and I guess I could write for like, medical dramas or something, because I can like, come up with all the terminology and know it and saw it all. But yeah, no.
So you need to get hold of what's her name? Shonda Rhimes, is it?
Shonda Rhimes, yeah.
Give her a call and say,
amazing.
yo. I think you need some help on Grey's Anatomy, and I can. I have this great story about these triplets that would be perfect on Grey's Anatomy.
Totally. Let's separate them.
So okay, so you decide to become a doctor. So like I'm thinking like the family is so proud of their daughter, and then is there fallout when you say like, yeah, I'm done, I'm going to Hollywood?
Yeah, well, actually, like, I had, like, the opposite reaction that you would think of. Like, most people, you'd think their parents would be horrified. I actually, like, my dad was actually really sweet. He was like, he was actually really excited. He's like, does this mean that my parents are from, I grew up in Massachusetts, so I'm an East Coast girl. And they were like, this means you're going to do theater. You're still going to do theater, huh? You're going to go back to acting? And I was like, yeah. And my dad was happy. He was like, yeah, that's more like you. Like, I didn't quite understand, like, what you were doing.
That's awesome.
So, he was supportive. Like, it was cool. It was, like, not what you'd think. Like, with most families, like, what are you, crazy? I mean, they still probably thought I was crazy for other reasons, but, yeah.
Now, was there, like, any, like, were you sitting there watching a movie and like laughing your ass off and it just clicked in your head like, you know what, that's what I want to be doing. Like I want to be like writing goofy stuff. I want to be acting in goofy stuff.
Yeah. Like, well, I grew up like my family's really funny. I grew up in a really funny family, and my dad had like the really such a dry, great sense of humor. so I would grow up watching him like watch all these great TV shows, like Married with Children and Taxi was his favorite show, and like Science. Like I grew up watching, like he loved sitcoms, and my grandparents. I would watch my grandparents like love Carol Burnett and Lily Tomlin. They would like talk about these women, and so I would watch these women, and I would see how these like people made everybody like laugh. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. You know, like I want to like I was kind of just like this goofy, awkward, and like that's just kind of what I love doing. I mean, I was always like doing it anyway. So I think it just made sense for everyone when I started just doing it out here, when I moved to LA and like came out here. Everyone was kind of like, yeah, well, like we knew that like for a while that's kind of what you would be doing. Yeah. I just like love, you know, like, I mean, like I love, yeah, anything that makes me, it's like I try and watch like comedy, like before I go to bed. Cause I'm one of these people that's like in my head all the time, like constantly like thinking, you know, and I just need something like to turn it off. So for me, it's always just like watching comedies, like classic comedies, like Dumb and Dumber is my favorite movie of all time. And Step Brothers is a close second. Three Amigos, like these are like my favorite. And just there's nothing like watching these movies and like getting out of your head, you know?
Yeah, I hear you on that, because I'm the same way. Like I don't shut off. Like it just keeps going and going and going. I think I need to like start doing that. Like watching. Watch like All in the Family before you go to bed. Like babblings from Archie Bunker will like just put you on the right track.
Yes. Oh my. I 100% agree. Like I have like the DVD. Somebody gave me that for a Christmas present. Like years ago, they gave me like the whole collection in DVD. Like it's amazing. It's such an amazing show. Yes.
Yeah, it's funny because like watching that now, like I remember I was like a kid when that stuff was on, and I you know back then thinking like it was funny and all. Like I watch it now and I cringe and I'm like, how the hell did they get away with this on TV 40 years ago? Like it's amazing.
I know. It was like so progressive. Everybody would be like too sensitive, and everybody would be like nervous, but for sure, like the writing and he was just brilliant. His delivery was amazing. Such a great show.
Now you mentioned you were from the East Coast, and this is kind of funny because you're from Sandwich, Massachusetts, and like I literally and I shit you not, like a week or two ago there was like a meme going around of a sandwich police car, and it was like, this town is real.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm reading that today, and I'm like, holy shit, that's where she's from.
Yeah, it's like on my Facebook page. Like a bunch of my friends out, like they posted it on my Facebook page, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Like we heard all the jokes growing up, you know, like at all the games. Like we'd have to go to like all the opposing teams would be like, oh look, it's bologna sandwich, and we were like, oh, it's original. Oh, it's tuna sandwich, and we're like, yeah, okay, guys, like, yeah, this is what we grew up with. So yes, I am from a town called Sandwich. It's exit 4 over the Sagamore Bridge on Cape Cod.
Oh, that's classic. So, I mean, you got to write a show now about Sandwich.
I know. I actually did. I wrote a show, and I actually sold it to 20th Century Fox a few years ago, and yeah, it's funny. It didn't end up getting made, but we like went into development. But it was like, I just kind of was home watching my family like over Christmas one year and just like listening to everybody. And then I was like, what if like I just like wrote this show, like what if I never left and I stayed here and I like lived in the garage and I imagined what that would be like. And then I ended up writing this show based on that, me as if I never left.
You mentioned there, you got one of them, like the quote unquote development deals. Like, is that like, how much fun is that? Like you get one of them deals and you're basically just like paid to like sit there. It sounds like that's what you always hear the stories of.
Well, you think, yeah, but it's like, no, it's actually like, it is work. Like you are like, you are dealing with a lot of other people helping develop your show, and everyone has, you know, their 2 cents of what they think the show should be about. So you're like constantly in meetings, constantly rewriting your show. It ends up becoming something completely different than what you sold in the first place. But but it is fun. It is fun. It was a live show. Like it was based on like a live show that I did first out here. And it was actually written with, it was based on me when I was like 13 years old. And it was written by the guy who wrote This Is Us, or he created This Is Us, which is on ABC, Dan Fogelman. And he and I wrote this show that was put up in a theater, and it just kind of became like this little cult following. And he went on to write Cars, and I went on to get this deal with 20th Century. Yeah. So
that's wild.
It's fun. Yeah. It's like everybody knows, like once you're out here and you're doing this for a while, like you end up working with everyone, or you're like, oh, that's like my ex-writing partner, or that's my, you know, my ex-roommate, or that's my friend. Like everybody just kind of knows everyone, you know. It's kind of small when you're in it for a while.
So now something like that, like with this guy Dan Fogelman, here's somebody who you've worked with and all, and you see like something he has now is blowing up. Is that kind of like more kind of like it is doable? Like I can get there. Like you're a friend of mine.
Yeah, you see, like, you know, I literally just got home from having coffee with a friend of mine, and she's an actress, and she's here doing stuff and working. And we were literally just having this conversation about how people that are outside of the business, you know, it's like they don't understand. Like it's basically like a 14-year overnight success story. Like you work for years, and like you bust your butt and you write stuff and you like put up shows or live shows, or you do web series or these short films. Like you're just constantly reinventing yourself or creating content. You're just constantly busy doing this stuff, and you're just like, when is this gonna like happen? And then you get an opportunity, and all of a sudden all your preparation, all this work that you did in that moment, you're able to say, oh yeah, here, watch my stuff, and like send it, and then like get work from that. So it's like, it takes a while, but like in that 1 second, you can end up getting something that can just like completely change your career, you know, having that one yes and having that one opportunity after like creating stuff for so long. Yeah.
Right.
It is kind of cool about it. Like I wouldn't, like you definitely have to, this has to be in your blood, and you have to like really have a desire to do this, because it's not something that you can say, well, I'll take my stab at it and try it and see how it works out. And if it does, then I'll just like go home. It's like, no, this has to be like, but I guess it's with anything in life. Like you have to be so passionate about it and like love what you do and enjoy it, because there's going to be a lot of times where it is a struggle and where it is difficult and it is challenging. And if you're not enjoying it, it's like, what's the point? And it's like, the more you enjoy it, the more things and opportunities happen, you know?
Now, what do you see yourself more as first? Do you see yourself more as the writer first or the actress?
You know, like when I first started, I was an actress. I never wrote anything at all. Like I had never written before. And then I just kind of, the comedy I do, like, as you've probably seen, is like a particular brand of comedy. And I got sick of, like, you know, I was testing a lot and out for pilots and up for a lot of pilots. And I would get the feedback, which was kind of like so annoying, which was, you're not, you know, they would tell my agents would have to tell me, she's not pretty enough to be the lead, but she's not ugly enough to be the lead's best friend. And it was just like, this was a few years ago. It's definitely like shifted and stuff. And I just was like, never really defeated me. It kind of got me like a little bit, wow, it's just people really not thinking outside the box. They're really just kind of seeing it just like such a shallow viewpoint. And that's when I started saying, like, well, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm going to start creating my own content, and I'm going to start writing the kind of characters I want to see, which are like real people going through like real things, and or something like Neil Patrick Harris, which is just like so out there. Like, I'm just going to write what I enjoy. And if people like it, great. And if people don't, great. It doesn't matter, you know? And that's where it shifted for me. And now I just love creating and writing. And I love acting, but like I would, you know, my dream is to like have my own show and just, you know, have an awesome staff of like, and collaborate with other amazing writers. And that's what I really enjoy doing.
Now, I mean, I sat there today, like as I was getting ready for everything, and I watched the whole Neil Patrick and Harris series, and I was watching Killing the Apologetic Girl and all, and I kept thinking to myself, like, here's where I'm going to compare you to somebody like a Whitney Cummings, like with Two Broke Girls. I was like, this is where your mind is, like that total.
Oh yeah.
Sexual humor is all over the place, and just like fart jokes and crap jokes and this and that. And I'm just like too freaking hysterical.
Yeah, I'm like a 15-year-old boy. Like I had a mentality. Like, you know, my brother is one of my brothers is a engineer, and we went on vacation. His wife, my sister-in-law, and his daughter, and then my boyfriend. We all went camping this summer, and we were just like laughing by the campfire, you know, having a glass of wine, and he's just like, it's so funny, like I'm an engineer and I'm creating whatever it is that he creates, I can't even pronounce it, and then he's like, and then my sister writes fart jokes and poop jokes and anything about penises and boobs. I'm like, yep, that's absolutely right, that's what makes me laugh.
You would think he'd be the one doing that.
Yeah, he's like, leave it to my classy older sister to like yeah. But always, I was like always that kid, like anybody would say, like I'm still that way to this day. I'm like, if somebody says like fart or poop or they fart in front of me, I just think it's I guess I'm immature, but I just think it's really funny. Like boobs and penis jokes and poop jokes will never get old for me.
I'll tell you what, opening scene, like people need to really sit and I mean, they're 5-minute little shorts, and they're 6 episodes, and they're freaking hysterical. But opening scene, you had me sold instantly on Neil Patrick and Harris, because they're conjoined triplets in the bathroom, and the one's taking a dump, and I was just like, I'm in, I'm sold. From that point on, I'm like, this is great. Like, here we go.
That's hilarious. I'm glad you appreciate it, because I've had some of my friends of the classier persuasion have said to me, do we really have to have the fucking farting in there? Do you really have to have the diarrhea sounds? I'm like, what are you talking about? Comedy gold.
It sounded real. It sounded so real. That's what made it. It was. Oh
yeah. No, we spent a long time listening for free, because you got to find like the free royalty-free, you know, music right, or sound effects. We spent, you know how many times I listened to diarrhea, like poop, splashing. There's all different files, different kinds of poops hitting the toilet. Poop that's a gentle splash. A Mexican, poop after a Mexican meal. Poop after an Italian meal. Poop, like everything. Like there's all different kinds of poop sound effects you can find online. Very specific. There's an art to it.
Now, the one complaint I'm going to have about Neil Patrick and Harris, what I was really bummed out, is when whoever the guy playing the cameraman, when he quit.
Okay, you know why he quit? Hysterical. He's so brilliant. Okay, I'm going to tell you a secret why we had to do that. Because he had booked another television show, and originally we had him, but because like he actually like booked a show, we had to write it. So we were like, shit, what do we do? We're like, okay, we'll just have him quit. We'll have him quit, and then we'll justify like why we bring him back if we get a second season. He's so amazing. He's an actor, Jeremiah Caleb. I love him.
Oh my
love
God.
him.
Just the facial reactions he was making just made it. I was hysterical just watching him.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's great. I saw him in a show and like a live show, and that's how I met him. I watched him and I was like, this guy, everything he did made me laugh. He doesn't play for the comedy or the jokes. He's such a good actor and he just delivers the lines. And he's so funny. As like, I met him, I introduced myself. I was like, I need to put you in my show. Like, you're so good. Yeah, he's great.
Now, I picture too, like when you're like working on this and coming up with the whole idea and the concept of this whole thing, I picture you just like blurting out the name Neil Patrick Harris, and it just like works perfectly.
Well, you know what we ended up doing? We were like, what can we call ourselves? And then we said, well, we need a name like Sarah Jessica Parker. And then we all looked at each other and we were like, we don't think she'll have a good sense of humor about this. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, Neil Patrick Harris. Like, he'll think it's funny. Like, if he sees it, he'll like have an appreciation. And that's where it just stuck. Yeah. Yeah. It just seemed like perfect. Now, do you know if you
stole it?
Well, Elizabeth Banks ended up seeing the show and she picked it up, and it's being hosted right now on her female-driven platform called Whohaha.com. So she's got like the female version of Funny or Die, where she's trying to promote and feature up-and-coming female writers and comedians. And so she's launched it. She launched it on her site, and she's really good friends with him. So she just launched it on there a few months ago. So we're hoping that he has seen it, or she's like finally showed him. I don't know if she was waiting to like get a bit of a following first before she shows it to him. But I mean, like, come on, he's got to like it, right? Like, it's not, I mean, we're paying homage to him. We're like worshiping him basically.
From what I've seen too of him, like, he seems like the one that would say like, I want to appear in this. Yeah,
right? I mean, that's what we were like. We like had all these like fantasies in our head. We're just like, okay, he'll come in season 2. Wouldn't it be funny if he's actually our doctor? Like, we have a whole bunch of scenarios for him.
Oh man,
yeah,
that is so awesome.
Yeah,
that is so awesome. Now the other one you had was Killing the Apologetic Girl, and that one was on Funny or Die.
Yeah, that one just got picked up by Funny or Die. It's one of their featured new shows. They have a new platform called Cinematique, but it's basically, if you go to Funny or Die, you can like find it there. But they have a new platform where they're launching their like series or longer rather than just like a one-off kind of content, or they have where they're actually launching like series and like maybe like a little bit longer films. Yeah, so that can be seen there.
Now, one thing too, I noticed like a lot of the same people appear in all your shorts also. I guess it's like your whole little crew you got going on.
Yeah, you kind of like end up developing like a little family, and everybody starts to wear lots of hats and it just kind of grows. Like the first thing that we did actually was Killing the Apologetic Girl, and we had a small crew, and one of our PAs who had just moved here from Detroit, he was like here a week, and he was looking for work. And so a friend was like, oh, I got, this friend, he's looking to help and to kind of get into the business. So I was like, great, we'll need PAs. So he came on as a PA, and it was like 4 days of shooting. And on the last day of shooting, this kid, he's like slinging jokes to me, like trying to find alternates for my character to say. And everyone was like, I can't believe that's so ballsy of a PA slinging jokes to one of the writers. But he made me laugh, and they were so funny. He actually ended up directing Neil Patrick and Harris. So he ended up editing my shorts, and then he ended up directing and editing Neil Patrick and Harris. So it's like you just kind of meet people, and then you kind of grow, and then more people get added into the mix. And, yeah, it becomes like this little family and this little, like, production company. And it's awesome because everybody's, like, has something to offer and is great at what it is that they do, So it's cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Now,
it's awesome.
do you do like stand up at all either, or just like strictly with the writing and acting?
Yeah, I used to do I did stand up like as a character. I used to do this like myself. I would disguise myself like just completely so that, and I would test it out. Like I would test this character and I would walk around like the Beverly Center out here, and I knew my character was ready once I walked into where my friend was working the store, and she didn't know who I was, and she was like waiting on me. And then I took the glasses, I took the retainer off, I like took my hair out, I took the Vaseline out of my eyebrows, and she was like, "What?" And so then I was like, yes, I'm ready. So then I did stand up as this character, but then I just started writing sketch comedy, and I did a lot of like sketch shows and improv shows, but I'm missing stand up. It's really weird. I'm like, it's been a long time, but I'm missing that platform. And I started sitting down to write some jokes to go back out and give it like a try, but as me, not as the character. Not as this character I used to do, but as me.
No, it's funny because with the whole stand-up and all, you were a finalist for the Andy Kaufman Award, I saw.
Yeah. So there, yeah. I was like, they took the 10 to go to like Vegas for like this big show for the award, and I was like the 11th person and didn't end up being able to like make it to the Vegas, but yeah, it was pretty cool. It was cool. It was like during the time when they did like Houston Comedy Fest and Montreal. Yeah.
Now, do you know Andy's by chance his old writing guy Bob Zamuda?
No, I don't.
Bob, he's written a couple books about Andy, and he was like Andy's like right hand guy. He was the guy that was Tony Clifton. And
yeah.
We had Bob on the show like it's probably like 2 years ago at least. He wrote a book that Andy was still alive, and it was, I guess, coming up on at that point the 40th anniversary of Andy's passing, and Andy was going to come back from the grave and all this stuff, and we had him on the show. And the hate, because I have the video up on YouTube, the interview on YouTube. And every day I just get these notifications of people with the hatred towards Bob. I feel so bad. Like, it's just insane.
No.
Yeah, the love that people can just spread on YouTube, it's just amazing. But yeah, when I saw the Andy Kaufman Award, that's I always think of Bob Zamuda now when I see Andy's name.
Oh yeah. Well, Andy Kaufman was just he's brilliant. He is just amazing. He was so he was amazing. I actually started rewatching Taxi again just to watch him, and my family, actually my dad's side of the family is from Latvia, so we always had, my dad loved watching Latka, from Latvia on Taxi, so because it was just from where from, so yeah, so Andy Kaufman was big in our house. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh, there. Can you hear me?
Well, yes, I can. I'm guessing one of my co-hosts is having an issue with his
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. There's
a lot. There's lots of fire. Yeah, there's lots of fire engines going by right now. Anyway.
Wow, there you go. All right, so you're having more excitement than we are around here.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. I'm sorry. I'm kind of lost. I haven't been paying attention.
That's
okay. So anyway. Are you watching Rocky?
No, who's watching? But I do hear it.
Somebody's watching.
I do hear it. That's awesome. Who's watching Rocky?
I don't know which one of my co-hosts that is, but
That's kind of brilliant. I wish I was. How much more awesome would I have just gone up in your book if I was actually?
There you go. Absolutely. Eye of the tiger. We're having fun.
Totally, I'm doing like my pre-workout. I'm about ready to go on my run. Workout, go to the gym, getting pumped up.
There you go. I'm not sure which one of my co-hosts that is. I would assume that was Bay, but it could be Nick as well. And I don't know where either are right now. So I don't.
That's hilarious.
That is great.
That's so great.
Okay. So
that's
where were
awesome.
we?
So can anybody hear you, or are we still live?
I'm assuming we are because I'm not in control of the situation.
That's kind of awesome
like,
to everybody listening. I love this.
I'm just like you. I was calling in just like you, but I'm one of the co-hosts.
That's
without
awesome.
control of any of the equipment. So that's why.
That's
awesome. I
awesome.
wasn't even paying attention at the time. I was doing something and everything goes silent. So.
Music's off.
Can you guys hear me?
There you go.
Hey,
Nick,
now we
Nick's
do.
back.
What's up?
I don't know what's going on. Bay is somehow disconnected. I don't even know if he knows.
No, you know what?
But,
I'm back. Can you hear me? I'm on my phone now.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Holy shit.
awesome. I love everything that just happened in the past 2 minutes.
That's awesome. And I missed
No,
it
this
all.
is like
and
the
I have
best
to
show
go back
ever.
and hear. Oh, man. So
I didn't know what was going on. You made me get back involved.
That's awesome. See, this is like improv dream. Like, this is the kind of stuff you like want to happen. Like, people are like, wait, is this real? Is this part of it, or did they really lose connection?
No, this was all really happened. And
That's awesome.
It's novel for you, but when it happens to you a few times, it's a little old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
You know what, though? If she wasn't like an improv person, she would have hung up. So she was along for the ride. She was into it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Totally. I was just like picking at my toenails. I was just like sitting here, and I was like, all of a sudden I started hearing the music. I was like, sweet, Eye of the Tiger. This is awesome.
That was the first song in the system that I had. I'm like, all right, that's cute. I'll play that until I figure out what the hell's going on here.
Oh,
God,
my word. Awesome.
So the last question I was asking before I got rudely interrupted was, so what are you working on now?
So I wrote a show with Lucy Davis from The Office, and did you see Wonder Woman?
Yes.
She played Chris Pine's character's secretary. She played Etta Candy.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember. Yeah, so we wrote a little web series. We wrote a show that Scott Adsit from 30 Rock directed, and we are having that edited right now. And we have such a killer cast. We have James Pickens Jr. from Grey's Anatomy. We have Mikey Madison from Better Things. We have Chris Stanley from Mad Men. Like, it's a great cast.
Oh, wow.
And it's really awesome. We got 28 amazing actors, and it's another 6-part web series, and that's being edited now. So we're super excited to get out there with that and pitch that show and show that, and then I'm writing another show. So just writing and working, and a movie. Actually, I forgot, I just got cast in this movie that starts shooting November 1st with I play JT Jackson's wife. He's awesome. This guy, I just met him yesterday, It was like our meet and greet, and he's so freaking funny, this guy. So I'm really excited to work with him. It's going to be fun.
That's awesome. So it sounds like the whole world of like these little comedy short things. I mean, this is like a whole big thing going on then right now.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think people are just like, are like, I think they're just like reinventing. Like, it's cool because people are like taking their own control with their careers. You know what I mean? And so like doing stuff and being like, what, and that's kind of what's happening. And I've just kind of had this awesome little community of people that we're doing this stuff with. And then from that, it's like people have seen me and stuff, and then have like contacted me. The guy who wrote this, he co-wrote it with this awesome female director. She's directing her first feature. She won the jury award at Cannes for her short, and her short went to Sundance, and now she's directing her first feature. And the guy who wrote it with her is Torkel Knudsen. He is like the Farley brothers of Sweden. He wrote this movie called Naked, and Marlon Wayans Jr. did the movie, the remake of the movie for Netflix that's out now, and J.T. Jackson is in that, and it's based on this guy Torkel's movie, and now he and this woman Iggy are doing this feature, and they cast JT because they know him from Naked, and then they saw my stuff and cast me opposite him. So it's cool. So it's like, it kind of like, it's like one of those things that, you know, it kind of work begets work. You do what you love, and then hopefully people will see it and, you know, and appreciate it, and it can lead to other stuff.
Right. I mean, it's basically, it seems like now it's like compared to the music world where a person can put together, you know, their own song and blah, 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 and get it on iTunes and this and that. And it's now like where writers and actors can do that now with these little shorts.
Exactly. You can just like, you can kind of create your own career and like what you want to do. And people's like attention span isn't that long anymore anyway. So that's kind of why I started doing these web series. I was like, oh, I can tell a story, like do little episodes within 5 minutes. I love this. You know, so it worked.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. You know, you know what's funny too? Like I just realized too, and I just remembered, like the way this whole interview happened was, I had put a picture up on Instagram of tomato pie, and you responded to it, and you were like, "What is this? And why do
food. Exactly.
And so it all happened from a food picture, and you were like, "You need to explain to me why I want this and why I would need to have this in my life."
Exactly. I was like, "That looks so amazing. Sell me on it. Go." It was pretty much that. I mean, I love food, and I was like, I can look at food like porn. And I was just like, oh my God, like explain every detail to me. Yeah, that's right. That's how this whole thing started.
That's funny. So in other words, you were surfing food porn on Instagram and came across my picture, and there you go. And a relationship
There you
started.
go. The rest is history, and now we're best friends. Look at that.
How about that? And now you just got to come to Philly for tomato pie and solidify the deal.
I've never been to Philly, so I seriously need to.
Oh my God! I'll tell you what,
it's a shame.
That tomato pie is it's unfucking believable. It really is.
It looks so good. Like I literally kept thinking about it. I was like, "Are you serious? Like you got to be kidding me with that thing." Mm-hmm.
And you know what? The funny thing is that place they literally win Best of Philly for tomato pie like every year, hands down. And you go in this place and they make so much each day, and usually by like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like it's gone, it's sold out. And they'll make they make giant pizzas of it, and one whole pizza, if you buy a whole pizza, it's got 32 slices in it.
Oh my God!
That's how big it is.
Are you serious? That's amazing. Yeah. How do you carry that? Like on your head?
It literally takes up like the whole back seat of a car.
Yeah, it has to. That's 32 slices. That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
What's a regular is like what? 12 slices?
Yeah, one of their regular, well, they break it down into quarters, so it's 8. Yeah.
Yeah. 32.
It's crazy. 32. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's like heaven to me.
Because, as a matter of fact, that was we every year, like the end of the summer, like my whole family will go down to the Jersey Shore for a vacation, and there's like 30-something of us goofy Italians, and I live close to, or I work right by this place, and my cousins every year like, you got to go get the tomato pie, and that was the picture I had put up, was the picture of the tomato pie that you responded to. We were down the shore. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. That's so great. I love that. Look at that. Like, you never know. You know what I mean? You never know where the day is going to lead.
Yeah, it's funny because then I like looked up you and I'm saying I saw the Neil Patrick Harris thing. I'm like, oh, we got to get her on the show.
Yeah, I'm so glad you watched it. You liked it. That's funny. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Cool. This has been cool, man. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we got this together. Now, like I said, yeah. Just gotta come to Philly, get tomato pie, cheesesteak, tomato pie, and then finish it off with the new thing now is the Philly taco.
Oh, what's that?
You see, you're gonna have to look this one up. Down on South Street, they have on 3rd and South is Lorenzo's Pizza, where it's a normal, shaped pizza, and it's literally the size of your freaking head. Like the pizza
and I got
is
a big
so
head,
big.
So yeah.
I'll tell you what, it'll be bigger than your head. Well, now what people are doing is they're going up the street to 4th and South to Jim's Steaks. They buy a cheesesteak and they wrap the slice of pizza around it like a taco.
Oh,
it's a Philly taco.
My God. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing. Okay.
That is food porn squared. So.
Hell yeah. Oh, my God. Absolutely. That sounds so amazing. That sounds so good.
Yeah.
And I haven't had dinner tonight yet, so literally.
Because when I was there, it's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing?
When I was there years ago, the Philly taco was not a good thing.
I'll tell you what, like, I'm trying desperately to lose weight, so I'm not doing it. Like, it's killing me because I keep seeing it more and more, people doing it, and I want to do it so bad, and I'm just like, the fat guy in me is like screaming to do it, and then the fat guy in me is screaming at me not to do it. So, yeah.
You'll be like you'll be like the opening scene in our series. What happens within the first 30 seconds? Yeah.
You know what would happen? I would be the girl in the middle of Neil Patrick and Harris taking the dump on the toilet.
Exactly. That's what would happen. You'd be Harris, the Harris character.
Oh, it's too funny. Too freaking
so
funny.
Good. So good.
So let's give the plugs out. Let's tell everybody where they can find you and see all these great funny things and keep up to date and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and if you want to watch, Neil Patrick and Harris is on Whohaha.com, which is WHOHAHA.com, or I think it's also on YouTube. But it's Neil Patrick and Harris, The Chronicles of Conjoined Triplets. And then Killing the Apologetic Girl is on Funny or Die. And then people can always go to my website, KimberlyAboltin.com, KimberlyAboltin.com. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. And announce all the stuff.
And they can enjoy the nice promo picture of the Neil Patrick Harris with you guys mimicking the Kardashian picture.
Yeah, any opportunity to go ahead and do that, we'll just bash. Exactly. Yeah. So we totally replicated the Hollywood Reporter.
Classic. Freaking classic. Oh, that's too funny. So, all right, yeah. Well, this has been great, Kim. I'm glad we did this, and we got to keep in touch. And when more stuff is coming out, we got to get out there and plug it for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think what we should do after we shoot the movie, this movie Get Lucky, JT Jackson's hysterical. Like, I'm totally volunteering him without even asking, but it would be great to like fill you in, talk to you guys with him about the movie. He's just a really funny guy. Yeah, it would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're Team Kimberly Aboltin. We're not Team Kimberly Kardashian. So yeah, we're in.
That's right. Thanks. I like you guys. You're awesome.
Too funny. Too freaking
well,
funny.
Thanks for having me, you guys, and yeah, for sure. Keep in touch.
Absolutely. Cool. I'm happy now.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk soon, and we'll be sending more food porn pictures to you.
Yes, please. Thank you. I need that tonight for my late night.
Too funny.
All right, you guys.
All right, Kim. Thanks so much.
Have a great night. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, there she goes. Kimberly Aboltin. Check her out. She was funny. Dude, I'm glad I remembered that. Like, this whole thing started was from a picture of Corpolee's tomato pie. And
that's really funny.
I start getting comments from this girl. I'm like, who the fuck is this? And it's like, okay, what is this? Explain this to me, and why would I love this, and why do I need this in my life? I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, you know what I mean? Like very rare people comment, or actually physically comment on a picture on Instagram, or at least on mine. And I'm like, who is this strange girl commenting on my food picture? And then I'm looking, and I'm like, she's like an actress or something. And I'm like, okay. And I start looking her up and all. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, it might be kind of funny to have her on the show.
That's really funny, man.
She also helped to prove the point of my English teacher 30 years ago.
What's that?
My English teacher told me, when you don't pay attention, that's when you're called upon.
So, dude, I don't even know what happened. It just died out.
I don't either. I'm sitting here now, and basically the phone was next to the computer. I was doing some work, and I didn't have the speaker up loud, but I could still hear. And all of a sudden, everything went silent. And I was like, what happened? Did I hang up? And all I hear her say is, hello, is anybody there? And I'm like, can you hear me? And I didn't.
That's funny.
To be honest with you, I wasn't even paying attention to this chick's name when you said it. So I didn't even know her name. And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to explain to her that I'm not in control of this. And that I wasn't even paying attention to the conversation. So I was going to be like, okay. She's like, are we live on the air still? And I'm like, I'm assuming we are if I can still hear you. So, and where were we?
Oh, man.
That's really funny. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I just stayed on mute because I didn't know who we were talking to. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't paying enough attention, so I heard Jimmy talk, so I just stayed on mute. I was like, May will be back.
I was like, where's Nick? My whole thing, I was like, where's Nick, damn it?
But
I don't know what to say to this girl.
So that's why I came in.
No, and then we were hearing, I was like, wait a minute. Is that Rocky I hear? Are you watching Rocky? She's like, no, I'm not. She's like, but I hear the music. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and I'm like, so I was like, let me I didn't know if you guys dropped or if it was on my end. So I'm like, let me hit the music and see if I can hear the music. And then I couldn't hear the music. I'm like, oh, fuck. So that's when I pulled my phone out and I was scrambling to call in.
I didn't know what the hell. I thought, to be honest with you, I really thought that you had dropped Bay and that Nick was watching Rocky or something and walked away from the That's what I really thought. Because I was like, what the hell? Where's this music coming from? I know it wasn't me, and she said it wasn't her. And Bay's probably gone otherwise.
Oh, man.
It was very abrupt that you dropped out. You dropped out in like the middle of what you were saying. So
that's awesome.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I was just like, this sounds awkward as hell. I'm not joining in.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Left me out to dry. I was like, wait a minute, because I was the one that answered.
But you know what? Like, that's the truth, though. Like, if it was somebody else, like, they would have been like, oh, fuck this, and bailed or whatever. But being the fact that she is, like, the improv person, like, you know, I mean, she was, like, totally in her element and was, like, in for it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a good sense of humor about it.
She was laughing. She was saying it was, like, the funniest thing. And I was, too, but I was like, okay, well, what happens if he doesn't come back? And I don't know who this shit is. So I was like, I really asked her, I was like, where were you guys?
Oh.
Now, my go-to when Bay drops, my go-to is just to ask them to plug their shit. And usually by the time they're done, Bay comes back.
Yeah. Well, that was going to be my next thing, but I wanted to, make sure that it wasn't, she wasn't in the middle of saying something or anything. So I was like, where were you guys? And then by that time, Bay popped back on and went, hey, I'm back. I went, oh, thank God.
Oh, man. That's funny. That was cool, though, man. She was super cool.